What's up, everybody? It's 12 Gauge Geek here on the Game & Gulag channel, and today we're talking about Marvel Rivals. I'm always talking about characters that I think would be cool in the game, different synergies, different pair-ups, or the way their powers I think would be cool in the game. So this video, 10 characters I think would be good in Marvel Rivals. I hit the wrong button. Ha. Iceman. Alright, so Iceman's always been one of my favorite heroes ever since the first X-Men trilogy, since the very first movie. Him and Pyro, they're kind of back and forth with each other. The battle that they do is just a great writing, in my opinion. The actor they got to play him I like him a lot, really good character. And I think it'd be cool to just see him, kind of doing his ice sledding around, his powers kind of with Human Torch. Maybe they would have kind of a cancellation of their powers, or him and Storm could do some sort of power-up synergy. There's a lot I feel they could do with Iceman, and just the mobility that he would have I think would be cool to add into the game, as far as being able to counteract characters like Storm, like Iron Man, like Human Torch. I feel like he would be a really good addition. And so the next character, I'm actually doing this in the form of heroes and villains. So that was the first hero, this will be the first villain, and it is Toad. I think Toad would be a great addition to Marvel Rivals, guys. Every time I bring this up at work, my coworker always laughs. He always thinks I'm being crazy. He thinks they're never going to add Toad. I say they gave us Squirrel Girl. What makes you think they're not going to give us Toad? And the reason I think Toad would be cool is he's a staple character. He was in X-Men from the very beginning. His powers are cool. He has such good mobility. He can crawl like Spider-Man. He can hop around, really agile. And then the way his tongue works, we all know he can, pull people from 20, 30 feet away, slam them down because it's probably ridiculously strong, do whips, and ultimately, like spinning it around in 360s. There's all kinds of things they could do. Have him pull things down with his tongue. I think he'd be a really cool addition to Marvel Rivals, and I'd like to see Toad added. And so, number 3, our next character is our second hero, and that is Ant-Man. Yes, I know. Ant-Man is, in my opinion, he would be the hardest character, I think, to add. Obviously, because of him shrinking down, or him, sizing up to a humongously large size. But I think he'd be great. Him with Hawkeye and the whole synergies they could have with him going small, shooting him on the arrow. Just the point of views from being able to play him, and the way that he moves around. I think it'd be cool that if his special was if he, got really large and then could do like maybe a couple slams down on like a 10-second or 7-second timer or something like that. They can figure out the real minutia about it. But just adding him in, I think, would be iconic. He's an iconic character, and who doesn't love Ant-Man? And so now we'll move on to number 4. This would be villain number 2, and this is the Hobgoblin. Yep, I know. Why not the Green Goblin? That's what everybody's immediately thinking, but I think the Hobgoblin deserves some love. We've never gotten him in any movies. We never get him in any the animated or any of the recent TV shows, or just anything like that. He hasn't been brought to light, or really gotten any screen time, in my opinion. And his costume is just so cool. He's essentially a Green Goblin ripoff, but I think he has a better color scheme, in my opinion. I love the pumpkin bombs. Just his whole aesthetic is amazing. I'd really love to see him in the game, the way his glider is used or could be used alongside fighting Spider-Man, I think would be great. He'd be zooming around the map, Spider-Man trying to swing after him. Maybe Spider-Man could, swing onto the glider and actually, like, they're fighting and punching each other up in the air as everybody else is fighting down below. It could be crazy. It could be so awesome. So I'd love to see Hobgoblin added in. And we'll move on to our next Marvel character I think they should add, and that's number 5. And this is another hero number 3, and it's She-Hulk. I think She-Hulk would be awesome in the game. I'm going to start by saying it. You guys know I'm going to say it. The Boondie. She'd have big green Boondie. We gotta put it in. Everybody has a Boondie in the game. Where's the She-Hulk Boondie? I think she'd also be just great to add in as a big, strong female to be smashing around men. They just did that with Emma Frost. And I think it's kind of crazy. I mean, they made her cracked. I'm not complaining, really. But I never thought Emma Frost was quite built like that necessarily. But She-Hulk, we all know, is built like that, and I think she'd be awesome. She's an iconic character. She has the Marvel TV show. They could do, different outfits with her. Marvel could make a lot of money, and NetEase. They could definitely make a lot of money, I think, with She-Hulk, and I think women would go crazy for her. Men would go crazy, too. She's a really cool character. She's awesome, and I think she'd make a great addition to Marvel Rivals. And so now we'll move on to our next character, number 6, our third villain, and that is Emil Blonsky, the Abomination. I love Abomination. Ever since the Edward Norton Incredible Hulk movie, Abomination was amazing. I don't think I ever knew about Abomination before that movie. I mean, I was a young kid when that came out. I want to say around like 13 or so, but instantly hooked when I saw them. Their rendition of that is just amazing. I haven't seen the Shang-Chi rendition to know if that's good. Knowing it's modern Disney, it's probably not, because a lot of their stuff is hit or miss. But regardless of that, Abomination is great. Whether they do, old school looking Abomination, or they can add him in as a skin, the Edward Norton Incredible Hulk style Abomination. Regardless of who they choose, he'd be a great addition. He's just like Hulk, super cracked, super powerful, would be a great counteract to, or like, what would that be? Almost like a water to a fire, the antithesis, I think that might be the right word. To like the Hulk, to the Thing, just another big, strong, bad guy, chunky, to fight all these big, chunky, good guys that we have on the roster. And Abomination is awesome. I think he'd make a great addition. And so we'll move on to our next character. This would be number 7. I think it's number 7. I think I'm counting right. Number 7, our 4th hero, and this is Cosmo. Who doesn't want Cosmo in the game, guys? We all love Jeff. Jeff is adorable. I fucking hate him. He's such a pain in the ass. But regardless of that, he's cute, and people love him. He's popular. He drives the price of comics up. He would make great, like, plushies. He's probably already been made into pops. There's tons of fan art on Jeff. Everybody loves Jeff. There's usually, at least every match that I play, if not every other, somebody's playing Jeff. So Cosmo, I think, would make a phenomenal addition to the game because of how popular Jeff is and how popular Cosmo was in the movies. And not to mention, Cosmo is just way more cracked than Jeff. He, I'm not sure if it was a he prior, but she, the rendition we have in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, so I'm going to call it she. She's cracked, she has, telekinesis. I think she can possibly fly. I'm not 100% sure on that, but she's awesome. She would make a great addition to the game. People would love to play as her. They could do a bunch of cool, wacky skins with her. They could make a lot of money. So I think she'd make another great addition to Marvel Rivals, guys. And so we'll move on to our next, and this would be, I believe, our 8th character that should come to Marvel Rivals. Our 4th villain, one of my favorite villains, the Blob. The Blob. I say this all the time at work. Everybody thinks I'm crazy. Just the same thing with the Toad thing. They think I'm wild and we'll never get the Blob. But he's awesome, and he gets no love. Like, nobody puts any respect on his name, and I don't understand why. I think him and Juggernaut or him and Hulk would just make great matchups. Him and Wolverine would make great fights. Like, his powers are the complete opposite of Juggernaut's. You know, Juggernaut's an unstoppable force coming at you, where the Blob is an immovable object. So it'd be great to see characters like the Thing, the Hulk, you know, She-Hulk if they ever added him. Who else? Wolverine. I think Wolverine would slash him up because the Blob has no healing factor. But as far as trying to move him or punch his gut or anything like that, all these big characters, it'd be great to see them just throw down in Marvel Rivals. I think they'd make great additions, and I would love to see the Blob. I'd be so excited. I don't think I have, you know, small hopes that I ever will see the Blob in the game, maybe 10 years down the line or something, but it would be just awesome. Please, Marvel, please, NetEase, give me the Blob. Okay, I'm ranting. So we'll move on to the next one here, and we're coming up on the end. This is number 9 in characters I think should be added to Marvel Rivals, and this is our 5th hero, 5th and final, Colossus. You guys knew he was coming, or at least you thought he was coming. Colossus is awesome. He was an awesome addition to the Deadpool movies. I even liked the rendition that they did in X3, and I believe he was in X2, because he's helping all the kids get out of the mansion when Stryker's attacking it. So, you know, that rendition of Colossus I think is awesome. Regardless of whichever one they put in, obviously I'd want to see this one, or maybe they do their own take. They could go crazy with all the different outfits and different variants, and he's just such a popular character. He's got super strength. I'd like to see him be the version where he's just Steel Colossus all the time, not like X2 and 3 version where he goes necessarily back and forth. So I don't know if the Deadpool version can do that or not, but I just don't want to see like a Bruce Banner type thing where he goes big and then can go back down to a weaker state. Just give me straight up Metal Colossus all the time. Make him strong as fuck. Make him throw hands with anybody who's coming at him. I want the Russian accent, the Russian haircut, the combat boots, you know, the whole nine. Just straight up Colossus. The voice lines would be awesome. They would be so rigid, so dry humor. It would be great. I think he'd make a great addition to Marvel Rivals. And now our final and 10th character, the finale, the 5th villain, my favorite in the entire Marvel universe. I'm dragging it on. It's the Juggernaut. I love the Juggernaut, guys. He is awesome. If there was anybody I could be, it would be the Juggernaut. He's normal man, or I mean pretty decently big guy, finds, you know, crazy gem, turns cracked out, becomes the basically like scion of Cyttorak, and is a human Juggernaut. Now, he's awesome. I love the rendition they did in Deadpool 2. We're not going to talk about Vinnie Jones in Deadpool 3. the Deadpool 2 one is great. That's what they need to do. They need to just keep doing that CGI. Hats off to Ryan Reynolds for voicing that as well. I love the Jersey accent that he gave him. It's just the best. It's amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it so much. So I would love to see the Juggernaut come into Marvel Rivals. I'd love to see him just smashing people, doing the stomp, throwing big hands. He'd have the basically same immovable trait like they gave the Thing, where, you know, a lot of things like Jeff's special can't affect him. He can't be webbed by Penny Parker. Who else? Emma Frost can't do her whole, you know, combo thing where she slams you down. A lot of those grapple type moves wouldn't work on him because he is an unstoppable force. I think they should give the same type of attribute to the Blob as well, if they ever added him. But for the Juggernaut, that's the attribute they should give him, and he should be just cracked. I don't know how much health they should give him, but make his special where he just does like some crazy rush where he just pile drives and does the smashes through everybody. It would be awesome, guys. I'd love to see it. Love the Juggernaut. I'd love to see a Deadpool 2 skin, a classic, you know, in the red skin. Even though it's disgusting, I would also take an X3 skin. Just cover up his face. Don't give me the Vinnie Jones face. But the same outfit is fine, I guess. It would be cool. And then even a helmetless option would be awesome. Same with like a zombie Juggernaut. I could go on for days. They could go crazy. I'd love to see the Juggernaut. That is the final character. That was number 10, guys. So I could keep rambling on. I might, depending on how this video does. I had fun making it, just playing around, adding in the pictures and stuff. You know, trying to do all the editing. Might make more of these. You guys let me know if you liked it. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, and feel free to drop a comment below and let me know who you guys think should come to Marvel Rivals. And thanks for watching.